Wow, I was not expecting to enjoy this movie as much as I did. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Craig, and if this is your first time here and you like horror films, then hit that subscribe button for all future updates. Okay, so recently I have been reviewing all of the Hostel movies, and now we are down to the final one, Hostel Part 3. Now, I had never seen this movie before, not until just about an hour ago. I watched this movie for the first time today, and I went in with seriously low expectations because I had heard from certain people that this movie is pretty much shit. However, I can honestly say that I really enjoyed this movie. Now, I don't know whether if that's because I have decided to watch this movie 11 years after it was released or not, but I absolutely loved it. Now, this is the only Hostel movie that isn't directed by Eli Roth, and the movie isn't set in Slovakia like the first two movies. In this movie, we are set in Vegas, where a guy called Scott has been taken to Vegas for his stag do by his friends. Now, this movie keeps up with the tits and the arse. I mean, it wouldn't be a Hostel movie without tits and arse. In the first two movies, rich people would pay, to kill and torture the victims themselves. But in this movie, rich people are, they're part of this exclusive club, and they pay to watch other people being tortured and killed. It's like the rich people are all having dinner at this underground club, and then the curtains open, and then there is a victim tied to a chair in a glass box where the victim is brutally tortured and killed. And the rich people, they end up giving like a round of applause when the victim dies, and there is some sort of audience participation element, when they can click a button for a weapon and so forth. So Scott is taken to Vegas by his friends, even though his wife thinks that they are going to Palm Springs, and while they're in Vegas, they're all getting pissed up and messed up, and they're at strip bars until one of the friends called Mike goes missing, which, by the way, this Mike character is a complete asshole whenever he's talking about his wife back home, so I was actually kind of really itching for him to die. However, when his death scene came on screen, I was not expecting to see what I saw. Mike wakes up in this glass box, and he can see these people having dinner and cheering, and then this other guy comes in, and he basically slices all around Mike's face and then proceeds to peel Mike's face off very slowly. It's absolutely gross. It actually made me, made my mouth drop, and I honestly wasn't expecting to see this guy peel off Mike's face and then show it to the audience and then stick the face onto this little mannequin thing. And this was like, the first proper kill in the movie. So once I saw this, I was like, yes, I've got a really good feeling about this movie. I forgot to mention, I also love the opening scene where we are led to believe that this guy entering a room in the hostel is this innocent guy who is about to die. Basically, this guy runs the whole show, the whole underground show. But when he walks into the room at the start of the movie, he walks in on a topless girl, which is very similar to what happens in the very first Hostel movie. And when he shares a beer with the girl and her boyfriend, he has actually drugged them for them both to be kidnapped. I thought it was an interesting twist. I didn't see it come in. I thought it was a bit weird when the boyfriend was calling for the guy to come into the bathroom and help him and the girlfriend, and then the guy was just taking his time and just chilling. It was great though. I thought it was a very strong opening scene. I feel the death count is probably a lot higher in this movie compared to the first two. There is an icky death scene where this girl is basically eaten alive by bugs. You got one of the friends who I think his name was Justin, and he ends up getting shot with a load of arrows from a crossbow, and one of the arrows actually gets shot between his legs. There is an interesting twist in the movie where one of Scott's friends, Carter, is captured along with all of them, but it turns out that Carter is actually already a part of this underground club, and he basically helped set them all up, which is another interesting twist that I just did not see coming. and for me it made things very interesting. I was a little bit confused though, about how Carter survived, when he was having that fight with Scott in the glass box, and then Scott stabbed him a load of times and then sliced off, his tattoo to get out of the glass box, but it's okay, I can roll with it. I love the whole out of control chaos that happens in the final act when Scott is trying to escape out of the building, and then you've got the other guy from the start of the movie from Ukraine. He's knocking, all of the power out and sending the whole place into darkness. There's alarms going off, and then you've got one of the owners of the club set a timer to detonate the whole building due to Scott getting through to the police, and the owner wants to cover his tracks. I thought it was really exciting. I was loving all of the fights and the kills and the alarms going off. It was very different to what we had seen in the previous 2 Hostel movies, and by the end of the movie, Carter, who somehow survives, he ends up escaping in a car and locks the front gate so Scott can't escape, and then the building blows up, and then we are led to believe that Scott has died. One final twist now right at the very end. Now Carter, he's basically comforting Scott's fiancée, and there is an urn with Scott's ashes in, but it turns out that Scott actually did survive the explosion and he faked his death. So basically, Scott and his fiancée, they end up torturing and killing Carter in proper brutal fashion just before the credits roll, which I was really happy about. It's always good to see a villain get his or hers comeuppance. I am honestly amazed at how much I loved this movie. I thought it was fantastic. Yes, it does feel different to the first 2 movies, but it was still brilliant in its own right, in my opinion. Maybe if I had watched this back in 2011 when it was first released, then maybe I would have hated it. I don't know. Maybe fans who were waiting for the 3rd movie back in 2011 were hoping for it to still be set in Slovakia, and maybe that's why they were disappointed, which I can totally understand. I mean, I went in watching this movie with low expectations and I came out loving it. I will definitely be adding this to my Blu-ray collection. What this movie has done for me though is that I now want another Hostel sequel. I honestly would welcome a Hostel Part 4 if they were to make it. I'd like to know where this organization has moved to. Maybe the next one could be set in the UK. Interesting idea. Anyway, what do you guys think of Hostel Part 3? Are you a fan or do you hate it? There's no wrong or right answers here, guys, so let me know all of your thoughts in the comments box below. Okay then guys, well thank you all for watching today's video. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, stay safe, and I will see you all again very, very soon.